The Janitor's Daughter, Who Silenced the Room, a story of courage, truth, and justice. Everyone in the room laughed when the CEO pointed at the janitor's daughter and said, "If you can fix this engine, I'll give you a scholarship." The room was filled with skepticism. No one expected much. Some engineers smirked, others pretended to be busy on their phones, but deep down, everyone was waiting to see her fail. Her name was Ira Whitaker, not just some quiet kid tagging along with her dad. She was about to shake the very foundation of Stratton Dynamics. The boardroom in the heart of Detroit buzzed with cold ambition. Suits everywhere. The smell of expensive coffee hanging in the air. Center stage stood a prototype engine, a complex machine that nobody, not even the head engineer, could get running. CEO Marshall Greystone wore his usual smug grin, looking for a scapegoat. Then his eyes landed on Henry, the janitor, quietly mopping a corner, and his daughter Era, standing near the door with a battered backpack. In a moment of showmanship, Marshall challenged, "Maybe Henry's kid can fix what you all can't?" Laughter filled the room, but Era simply shrugged off her backpack, pulled her hair back, and stepped into the circle of doubtful engineers without hesitation. She didn't say much, just asked, "Can I take a look?" Marshall gestured grandly. "Be my guest." Phones came out, ready to catch her embarrassment. But instead, Ira calmly pulled out a worn notebook filled with detailed scribbled diagrams, so precise that even some younger engineers recognized them as Stratton's internal schematics. She worked quietly but confidently, loosening bolts, swapping a tiny capacitor from her backpack, and within minutes, the engine roared to life. Smooth, powerful, flawless. The room fell silent, jaws dropped. Even Marshall's smug smile vanished. Then slowly, clapping began, tears in some eyes. But this wasn't celebration. It was shock, maybe even fear. Marshall demanded, "Who are you?" Era looked at her father, then back to him. "Just someone who likes engines." When Donna, an engineer, questioned the notebook's origins, Era admitted, "I drew it. Mine's actually a bit better." Marshall stormed over, flipping through pages of blueprints, calculations, and fluid dynamics. Some dated years before Stratton Dynamics filed their first patent. "You designed this when you were 13?" he hissed. Era's voice grew steady. "I never said I designed your engine. I designed mine. Yours just happens to be similar." Whispers rippled through the room. Henry stepped forward, placing a protective hand on Era's shoulder, revealing a painful truth. Years ago, his wife Maren Whitaker, a genius inventor, built the original engine but died under suspicious circumstances after trying to expose corporate theft. Her name had been erased from history, buried under NDAs and sealed files. Leonard, an old engineer, finally spoke. "I remember Maren. I remember what they did to her." The room grew heavy with guilt and regret. Marshall tried to regain control, but Ira played a video on her phone. Marshall mocking her, admitting the fix. The clip went viral within hours, sparking outrage and a media frenzy. Stratton Dynamics faced a scandal of cover-ups, stolen inventions, and a missing genius. Employees resigned en masse. Leaked files exposed the company's darkest secrets. Federal agents arrived, and Marshall was arrested. Outside, Era's grandmother, Olivia Whitaker, silver-haired and dignified, embraced Era, whispering, "I kept everything. Every note, every article. I waited for this day." The story wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about family, truth, and justice. The next day, Era received a government folder naming a new initiative in her mother's honor, the Whitaker Program, to protect young inventors from ever facing such battles alone. That night, at a small community center, Era played the violin for neighborhood kids, a simple melody filled with hope, memory, and the promise that things could be different. What do you think? Was it right for Era to stay silent for so long? Should corporations pay for the sins of the past? What does justice look like to you? Drop your thoughts below.